Switching our early attention, of course, to the Saturday main event, and it is the Kentucky Derby, the Run for the Roses, the fastest 2 minutes in sports. Whatever moniker you want to put on it, it is the Kentucky Derby. Just running through some of the, these are some of the contenders per Horse Racing Nation. Not really in the order of points, but I'll just go through the top 5. Definitely the 5 that I have my eye on, a couple with some others, but the top one in terms of the rating is going to be Journalism, probably going to be your morning line favorite if we expect, or if, you can kind of understand all this stuff. Michael McCarthy and Umberto Rispoli will be getting a hold of Journalism. Tappan Street, Brad Cox and Luis Saez. Then we have Burnham Square running. We got Wilkes and Brian Hernandez Jr. Mark Cassie's Sandman, another horse I have my eye on, and Jose Ortiz. Sovereignty, William Mott and Franco. And then Tiz Tastic, kind of one of those Tizes I talked about, Steve Asmussen and Joel Rosario. Among plenty others, of course, we will know a lot more next week when we get our 23. We'll have our 20 entries and then our 3 or 4 also eligibles. But I have to imagine those 6 horses plus some others are definitely going to be in that race and running if everything goes well. Raider Jim, your thoughts, your early thoughts on the Kentucky Derby?
Yeah, I always like looking at a field of 20 plus horses. It makes it so easy to pick a winner, doesn't it? Just, for the sake of discussion or the sake of providing information, Burnham Square, the point leader going into the week, 130 points, Sandman 129, Journalism 122.5, Rodriguez 121.25, Tiz Tastic at 119. Then you start dropping down into the 110 range and lower. But all those very familiar names, because you just spoke about some of them. I have Journalism down at the top of my list. Michael McCarthy and Umberto Rispoli, 5 for 5 in the money. The last 4 went to the winner's circle, and that included the Grade 2 Felipe Stakes and the Santa Anita Derby. Quite a nice race they ran over here at Santa Anita. It's got Sandman after that. Sandman out of Tapit. Mark Cassie and Jose Ortiz is going to be the jockey on that. And again, Randy won the Arkansas Derby. 6 entries after breaking the maiden. The big win was that Grade 1 Arkansas Derby not that long ago. And then we have Tiz Tastic. Tiz Tastic out of Tiz the Law and Keisha's the Mama. Keisha the Mama is by Tapit. That's a heck of a bloodline you got in that horse. Now, the other thing about this horse will be ridden by Joel Rosario. Steve Asmussen's the trainer, still looking for his first Kentucky Derby winning race. We'll see what happens with Tiz Tastic and if it represents one that's out there that some people are kind of saying, no, probably not, but you got to take a look. Citizen Bull, Bob Baffert, Martin Garcia. Now, Citizen Bull had a fantastic 2024, has only gone 1 for 2 in 2025, went to the winner's circle in the Grade 3 Robert B. Lewis Stakes here at Santa Anita, but ran in the Santa Anita Derby, came in 4th in a field of 5, lost to Westwood, Baez, who's also going to be running in the Derby, and Journalism. So for going against 2 competitors for sure that are going to be in this field and coming in 4th on basically your home field, not too good. Why would you not overlook this horse? You don't want to overlook this horse because has 2 Grade 1 wins in 2024, the American Pharoah Stakes in October, and more importantly, the FanDuel Breeders' Cup Juvenile in November. If you won that race, if you won those 2 races, you're not a slouch. And Baffert has that way of bringing the winners back into the winning circle. So no pun intended. Let's see what happens with Citizens Bull. I'd keep an eye on it.
Yeah, that's actually where I was going to start. I'm very intrigued to see, again, not only how this horse runs, but what number it runs at, because I think there's a chance you could see this horse maybe go off at double digits to 1. The Baffert name might kind of just bring money in already, but I mean, even 8-1 would be interesting. And I'm glad you brought that up because I do think a lot of people do look at and go, oh my goodness, he finished 4th in the Santa Anita Derby out of 5 horses. And then you look at the field and look, behind Westwood, that's not great. But the other 2 horses to lose to, again, not ideal, but journalism, I mean, that's probably going to go off as the morning line favorite. Right. And Baeza, who's probably going to be one of those 25, 35 to ones. So, I feel like Citizens Bull's kind of like right in the middle of those 2 in terms of expectations. So yeah, I could understand why people maybe are writing that horse off. But as you mentioned, this is the reigning juvenile champ. And that is sometimes the way you look at things. Oh, who won the Breeders' Cup Juvenile in November? What are they doing in May? Because more than likely, that horse is going to be on track to run. And for it to kind of be listed, 8, 9, 10, 12, wherever you're looking in terms of the contender list, that's interesting. Another horse that I remember really from last year and has had a really tough start to the year is Chancer McPatrick. This is Flavian Pratt and Chad Brown.
I am just looking at that horse.
Yeah,
I am looking at the profile.
It's very similar to Citizen Bull. Now, didn't have as great of a 2024 as Citizen Bull did, but Chancer McPatrick, look, ran in the Bluegrass, which is a grade 1, finished 7th out of 7 horses. But let's see, 5 of these horses, 5 of the 6 that beat this horse are either running in the Derby, the Pat Day Mile, or in River Thames case, already looking at the Preakness. So essentially, 5 of the 6 horses this horse lost to are going to be running either on Triple Crown cards or in the Triple Crown. And I think Chancer McPatrick, 3-year-olds, sometimes you just don't know. I go back to Art Collector. I want to say it was Art Collector. It felt like Art Collector would put up a 120 and then come back with a 74. And you just kind of had to ride that wave. And I'm not saying that's the case with Chancer McPatrick, but I really think here a little bit, maybe further down the tote board. Again, I don't know if you're going to cash a winner, but you could find a play show pick with some of these horses. And who knows, in 6 months, I mean, more than likely, whoever wins this race, and if they continue to have a good summer, they're probably running in the Classic, or they're probably running on maybe the Mile, but they're probably running in the Breeders' Cup. And it could kind of be one of those things like, oh yeah, Chancer McPatrick, 5-1 in the Classic. Well, I had him, 10-1 in the Derby. And then you feel, kind of big brain, but we'll see. It is very early, but I was very interested and very kind of, the Rock raising his eyebrow like, okay, you guys are putting them down a little bit. All right. And I get it. I understand why. I'm not, blind to what is going on. But again, these aren't optional claiming races they're losing in. And in a field of 20, sometimes you just got to be at the right place at the right time. So,
and I think it's too early to figure out the forecast. You can probably, an extended forecast, but by this time next week, I know we'll have a good idea of what's going to be happening with the weather. I know last year it was that sloppy mess.
Yeah.
And that always makes for an interesting run because you don't know what's going to happen.
Amen. Yeah. And that might have been the one I was thinking of, because I think we only ran 18 or 17, because I think multiple horses scratched and the also eligibles were like, nah, we'll see at Pimlico possibly. But yeah, so we shall see. But yeah, and another reminder, I do expect this one hopefully to come out Wednesday or Thursday next week. Myself and Raider Jim will get together on that, but we'll also need daily racing form to come through, but they're really good on the Triple Crown side of things. So